Hey guys, and welcome back to the totally normal Gran Turismo 5 playthrough. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I recommend doing so, cause they're gonna provide a lot of context on where we are now. Anyways, I welcome you back to the world of Gran Turismo 5. Now, I don't really have anything that I can bore you with, so let's cut right to the chase. So, what event should I do next? Aha, I know. Let's go beat Pickup Truck Challenge using the Toyota Tacoma which I bought last episode. And before I forget, and let's also buy racing tires so that the understeer nightmare doesn't haunt me again. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's go race pickup trucks. The first race is at Laguna Seca, a track known for its infamous corkscrew. Anyways, let's see how I do. Starting off strong with the Tacoma, and for some reason, the lighting makes it look like I'm driving a black 3D rectangle. Anyways, the first corner came around and I managed to easily overtake the SSR and the Dodge Ram. And then I managed to out-accelerate the black Tacoma, if that's even an actual word. And then on the next corner, I overtook the Ford F-150. And now the question is, will the Silverado be as much of a threat as it was in GT4? Apparently not, because I was able to easily overtake it alongside the SSR right in front of it. Overall, this race was really easy. So easy, in fact, that the biggest challenge was not falling asleep. And earned 8,000 credits for finishing in first place. The first race was easy, but the same cannot be said about the second race, which is held at Daytona Superspeedway. Right off the bat, my twin and the Silverado overtook me on the test course corner. But then I overtook the Silverado back 5 seconds later. And then I was off to catch back up to my twin. And the fact that I was able to slipstream, given that the trucks were like a mile away from me, helped me a lot. But the thing is, I wasn't able to overtake anyone until I got to the end of the test course corner and managed to overtake the SSR. And then I managed to overtake the Dodge Ram and the Ford F-150 on the start-finish straight. The two SSRs in front of me smacked into the wall. And that fact alone allowed me to overtake them very easily. And somehow I was also able to overtake the Silverado. And now here we go onto the test course corner, and I was able to overtake the black Tacoma alongside my twin, which was right in front of it. And then I had to keep my first place for the rest of the third lap, which was easier said than done. And I've gotta say, this is the closest finish I've had since episode 3. Matter of fact, I'll shut up and let the race speak for itself. And somehow I still managed to win the race and earned my well-deserved 8,000 credits. And yeah, that's Pickup Truck Challenge. So now let's see what we get as a prize car for winning this event. The Daihatsu Midget 2. Rest in peace, Terran GT posting. You will be missed. Anyways, next on my priority list is Historic Racing Car Cup. AKA the reason why this episode took so long to make. But the problem is that I don't have any cars that are eligible for the event, and the ones that I do have are severely underpowered. So I spent the next 6 days Insert explosion here. Money grinding for a Shelby Cobra and all the upgrades I needed for it. In the meantime, I found a Lamborghini Countach in the used dealership, which I can use for Supercar Nostalgia Cup. But we'll get onto that in the next episode. And I have also reached level 21 while money grinding. Anyways, let's go race historic race cars. So I tried it in the first race and I got completely destroyed, and all the things I said earlier just ended up being a complete waste of time and money. And all I could do at that moment is sell the Shelby Cobra and think about this in a different way. And so I was stuck for over 2 months. Well, it looks like I have no other choice but to grind up millions of credits for the XJ13. That is, until a guy by the name of Julie Canoto reached out to me and suggested that I should use a race-modified Camaro. And if I have to be honest, I completely forgot that this game had racing modifications. And so I race modified it and gave it a cool American race car color. And also wasted another 100,000 credits on upgrades. It better be fast, otherwise I'm just wasting even more of my money. And in the meantime, I've also reached level 22 grinding up money for the race modified Camaro. Side tangent. Alright, so I got this gift card ticket for driving 2,000 kilometers, so let's see what I get from it. What the frick? I was not expecting that, but I guess I'll take what I can get. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, we can finally get on with the races. And the first one is held at Deep Forest. So let's see how I do. So the first corner came around and I easily beat the XJ13 and the 2 economy tire victims. And then on the next corner, I tried to overtake the Mark IV race car but failed. I tried again on this corner and actually succeeded this time. I've already climbed up to 3rd place, and now all I have to do is overtake the mighty Chaparrals in order to be first. And that's what I tried to do by the end of the race. But the 2J and the 2D turned out to be big threats like they were in GT4's American Championship. And so I made it to the start-finish straight. And luckily, I was able to slipstream, which allowed me to catch up to the Chaparral 2D and overtake it on the braking zone. And now all that's standing between me and first place is the washing machine on wheels. Even though the Gran Turismo 5 AI is usually pretty slow, the Chaparral 2J still manages to be very competitive, surprisingly. And so I tried to catch up, but I wasn't able to do so by the end of the 2nd lap. On the 3rd lap, however, this braking zone alone allowed me to catch up to the Chaparral 2J, but not quite enough to overtake it though. Then I managed to catch up to it on the next braking zone, but still not enough to overtake it. It also doesn't help that the 2J manages to zoom off at almost every corner. But on this one, however, I managed to be a skilled driver and overtake the 2J with no problem. And even though the 2J was competitive, I still managed to secure my victory for this race. Thank you, Julie Canoto, for saving me 6 weeks of money grinding. And I've earned 30,000 credits as a reward. The second race is at Côte d'Azur circuit. First corner, and I immediately overtook the XJ13 and the Toyota 7. And now I am off to catch up to the Ford Mark IV race car, which I managed to do on the next section of the track, and then I overtook it alongside the 2J right in front of it. Insert explosion here. Now, even though the 2J overtook me back, that still isn't enough to stop me from trying to win. And although the 2J zoomed off on the straight, I was still able to overtake it back on this corner. Then on this annoying corner, I was able to catch up to the 330 P4 due to the fact that the C2 Corvette was cock-blocking it. And I managed to overtake it very easily because of that. Although it took me a while, I also managed to overtake the C2 Corvette race car, which wasn't that big of a threat either. And the rest of the race pretty much went as you would expect it to, getting first place and earning 30,000 credits very easily. And yeah, that's Historic Racing Car Cup. And once again, thanks to Julie Canoto for saving me from having to grind 20 million credits. Anyways, let's see what I got for winning this event. A Stratos rally car? Now, I am not sure if I'll be able to use it anywhere, but we'll see. And now, I've been teasing it for a couple episodes now, it's time to finally do the Gran Turismo World Championship. Now I could just use the RS6 Avant from the last episode, either that or just use the RX-8 LM like a normal person. So logically, I wasted another 200,000 credits on a Viper ACR and all the upgrades I needed for it. Anyways, let's go do GT World Championship now. The first race is at Le Mans Circuit, and it's not the one without chicanes, so I think we're good. Anyways, let's see how I do. Starting off strong with the Viper. Not even the first corner came around and I managed to overtake the Lister Storm and the Pagani Zonda. And then I easily overtook the two Nissan race cars and the CLK DTM. And wow, I've already climbed up to second place. Anyways, I tried to overtake the XJ220 LM but failed. And since I did not want to have to deal with this overtaking bullshit, I just used a shortcut to overtake it, just like the last two times I've been on this track. Also, a bit off topic, but this car doesn't actually handle as bad as I thought it would. Anyways, the race was so easy in fact that even the rubber banding AI wouldn't be enough to stop me from getting first place. And if you're wondering, these are the opponents I'm going up against. Either way, I've earned 21,000 credits and reached level 23. So far it looks like I've overestimated the difficulty of this event. I know exactly that the second race is gonna be really easy, given how much experience I have with driving on the Nordschleife. Right off the bat, the Epson NSX tried to overtake me, but I did not let that happen. And I've also managed to overtake the Pagani Zonda very easily, alongside the Lister Storm right in front of it. Then on the next corner, I was able to overtake the Super GT Nissan. Now I could just overtake the JGTC Nissan by pulling a Mad Jester, but I didn't. And I overtook it using a clean racing line instead. And then this speed section came around and I was easily able to overtake the XJ220 and the fake CLK. And now I've had the easiest first place until this happened. Insert explosion here. My skill issues allowed the CLK to overtake me. But I'm not gonna let that stop me from trying to get first place. Matter of fact, all I had to do was drive, and I eventually caught up to the CLK and overtook it. And then I've had no problems for the rest of the race. That is, until I forgot to brake on this corner. Insert explosion here. Now, as expected, the XJ220 managed to overtake me. But then I overtook it back literally 5 seconds later. And then I did some wall grinding activities on the carousel to try to build a gap over the XJ220. Worked, by the way. But as you would probably expect at this point, nothing happens after I overtook the leading car. allowing me to win the race and earn 21,000 credits as a reward. The third race is at Madrid, and if I have to be honest, I'm not sure how this race is gonna go. Not even the first corner came around and I'm already out-accelerating the Lister Storm. And I have also managed to overtake the Pagani Zonda and the two Nissans. And then I Seriously, like, I have no idea how I managed to pull off a quadruple overtake. And then this straight section came around and I managed to overtake the XJ220 thanks to Slipstream. And then I was doing very well until this happened on the third lap. Insert explosion here. My skill issues allowed the XJ220 to catch up to me, except this time I did not let it overtake me. Blah blah blah, I just cruised to the finish line and won the race. And earned 21 fat. You get the point. The fourth race is at Cape Ring, aka a track where I overtake most of my opponents on the spiral. Or at least that was the case last time I was here. Anyways, the first corner came around and I managed to beat the Lister Storm and the Pagani Zonda. And I've also managed to overtake the Super GT Nissan on the U-turn. Another corner and I managed to overtake the JGTC Nissan. And then I managed to overtake the CLK DTM on this corner, which is one of the hardest ones on the track, especially on the periphery layout. And then it took me a while to catch up to the XJ220, but once I did, it was very easy to overtake it. And it seems like I was wrong. I've already overtaken all my opponents before I even got to the spiral. And then I just cruised to the finish line, yeah, no one cares, and earned insert number here credits. And now it's time for the fifth and final race, which is held at Grand Valley Speedway. Not even the first corner came around and I've managed to out-accelerate the Lister and the Pagani, if that's even an actual word. The next corner came around and JGTC Nissan, how dare you do Night Drive's job of cock blocking? And then I managed to catch up to the CLK DTM and overtake it on this corner. And then it took me all the way until the second lap to catch up to the XJ220, which was not fun. But after all of that, I finally managed to catch up to the XJ220 and overtake it on this corner. And that's pretty much it. This event was, quite surprisingly, very easy. Either way, I won the race, earned 21,000 credits, and earned an additional 107,000 credits for winning the championship. And yeah, that's Gran Turismo World Championship. After all of that, let's see if wasting another 200,000 credits was worth it. A Bugatti Veyron, which I can use for like the wind. Now I could just watch the ending movie now, but I'm not going to, because my journey's not over yet. And that's about it for today's episode. But before I go, I need to address something. You may be wondering, why did I build so much hype around the GT World Championship if it wasn't even that difficult? And in my defense, I wasn't actually expecting the event to be that easy. I also promise that the future episodes of this series won't take this long to release. Well, unless I start another tournament, but that's a topic for another day. Anyways, if you enjoyed, which I know you did, like the video, and maybe even consider subscribing, I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in episode 11.